My name is Michael Smith. I'm the Acting Manager of Online Content and Copyright at Library and Archives Canada. And today I'm very excited to share with you a quick discussion about our brand new crowdsourcing tool, which we launched very recently. Some of you may have come out to see my demo last night, but if you didn't have a chance, by all means come and speak to me after, and I'd be happy to share that information with you. So Library and Archives Canada was exploring crowdsourcing back in 2015. And the reason why this appealed to us so much was because we have a vast amount of documentary heritage material, and we just don't have the time or the resources to transcribe and describe every single item in the collection. So the thought of putting it out to the crowd and getting them to help us do our work really appealed to us. We had two pilot projects. The first one was called the Coltman Report, and this was a handwritten report detailing the Battle of Seven Oaks, and was important with the establishment of the Métis Nation, so it was quite an important document. The second one was Lady Macdonald's Diary, which was also a handwritten document written by Lady Macdonald, wife of Prime Minister Sir John A. Macdonald. And both of these were transcribed in record time. One of them, I think, was done in 2 weeks. So we saw the value and we saw the interest was out there. And I'm happy to announce that on Tuesday we launched Collab, our own crowdsourcing tool. So there were several impacts that we looked at for not proceeding. But perhaps the most important one for us was that if we didn't do this, it would be a lost opportunity to engage with our clients, help them perform our work, and enrich the collection. So we were inspired by what some other institutions were doing. Here's just a few examples. There's the Tate Gallery, which has Annotate, NARA, which has Citizen Archivist, and Operation War Diary from the National Archives UK. We were particularly inspired by what Citizen Archivist was doing. So we did speak to NARA, and we also took what worked with their tool and used it as inspiration for developing our own tool. So being a Government of Canada institution, we're bound by a lot of regulations, including the Official Languages Act. So a couple of things that we really had to take into account was language. So crowdsourced content is collected in the language of the contributor, so people can tag things in English or French, or describe things in English or French. We're looking at a balance between English and French challenges. So the challenges are the curated projects that we put out for people to transcribe. And we have to make sure that it the platform meets all of Government of Canada's accessibility standards. So we did extensive user testing throughout the life of the project, both internally and externally, taking what people told us and incorporating it back into the design to improve functionality. We also benefited from a very close relationship with our IT department, who were really instrumental in getting the functionality issues addressed and getting things fixed on time. And on this slide, this is just a recent snapshot of some of the bug fixes that were going on just prior to launch. So it was really right down to the wire. So one of the most probably exciting functions of this new tool is that it's integrated with our new search. So when someone tags something or transcribes something, it's indexed, and the next day it's available in our new collection search engine. As well, besides the curated challenges that we put up, we've also opened the entire collection up to crowdsourcing. So if you go into the collection and you find a photo or a textual document, and you want to add a tag or a description, you can actually follow some quick steps, add the crowdsourced content, and then that's immediately available if someone searches for that using a keyword. So it's quite exciting. So here's some examples of Canadian graffiti. If everyone was this polite, we wouldn't have to worry about anything. But this was actually a huge concern for senior management. They were very concerned that someone would post something obscene and what would we do. So we really took a page from what NARA was doing. We spoke to NARA, and this was really not a problem with them. I think they had one instance where they had an issue with someone posting something problematic. And in the spirit of crowdsourcing, the idea is really to put it out to the crowd and let them police themselves. So we do have a couple of fail-safes. If there is an issue, we can walk the content and review it. But really, we're not anticipating too many problems down the road. So some lessons learned. It's very important to have a high-level business plan at the outset. If possible, have a single business lead or contact. If possible, follow an agile business model, which is what we did with this project. Test as much as you can, and make sure you have all the approvals in place for the name and branding, which was an issue for us at the very end. So finally, I would ask everyone to give it a try and connect with us if you have any comments or questions or suggestions. And just finally, I would like to add, in the spirit of open government and open data, we are looking at sharing this code with other institutions and other departments so that you can use this and perhaps open your own collections up and enrich the content and metadata. Thank you.